Hello, ACCA Performance Management friends. My name is Steve Willis. Today we are looking at the tricky topic of relevant costing. We are looking at the difficult past exam question, telephone. So, open up the practice platform, get out that question, and let's get started. I have question TCO opened. You can find this question in just about every revision kit exam question book that's published. If you don't have access for some reason, follow the link below and you can find this question. My first impression, it is a difficult looking question. It's a daunting question. There is so much to read. We are going to simulate the CBE experience. This question is not in the practice platform, but there's no reason we cannot work in the practice platform with this question opened right next to us. We will do part A together in this video. Let's see what part A is all about. I'm looking at requirement A and I see 14 marks. Remember time management. If we use the rule 1.8 minutes per mark or even 1.7 minutes per mark to give you a little buffer time, we have about 25 minutes to do this. We see multiple verbs here. They want us to prepare a statement. Notice the verb is not calculate. That's an important clue. They want us to use relevant costing principles showing the minimum cost. So there's the performance management technical knowledge, relevant costing. Okay? They want us to make detailed notes, how we arrived at each cost, explain why everything is included or excluded. One thing to consider, when this type of a question has been examined, they will give you the word processing tool, most likely. When most of the marks come from the writing, as is the case in this question, they give you the word processing tool. You might be expecting the spreadsheet, but you'll be in for an unpleasant surprise if that was your expectation. First thing to do is read the introductory paragraph. What's the business all about? What is the business problem we are helping this company solve? So please pause the video, take a moment, and read the first intro paragraphs. We find a telephone company that is looking to win a new contract with a new client, Pushco. The company would like to set a competitive price for this project so they can get more work. In order to set a competitive price, they need to understand their break-even price, which would be the relevant cost of this job. So we will calculate the relevant cost of this project. Now, the next thing to do is to dig into the meat of this question, and we see 9 paragraphs here. Okay, 9 separate paragraphs. First thing to consider when we're looking at a big question like this, think of it not as a big difficult question, but as a series of little math puzzles. Each paragraph has its own math puzzle, and each of these will be marked independently. So you don't have to get the question perfect. You have to identify the easiest things to do. Do those first, then move to the medium level challenges and run out of time when you're trying to solve the 2 most difficult things. We're not going to take it from top to bottom. We're going to cherry pick the easy marks first. The way we do that, everybody, is to read for gist. Scan these paragraphs and decide what each one is about. For example, I see paragraph 1 is about a salesman visiting, so it's some sales visit. Paragraph 2, wow, this one looks quite difficult. I see that it's about engineers. I leave it at that, and I don't read any more. This paragraph looks very difficult. Let's leave it alone. Pause the video, take a minute, and identify the topics of the remaining paragraphs, please. Okay, coming back, we see paragraph 3 is about some technical advisor. Paragraph 4 is about some site inspector. Paragraph 5 is about a trainer. Paragraph 6, we see it's about some handsets. 7 is about a control system. Paragraph 8 is about some cable. So identify the topic of each paragraph before we go further. Okay, friends, you have the practice platform open. Find a blank word processing practice area. Set the question next to your laptop. Let's simulate how we would do this in CBE. Okay, so we found 9 or so paragraphs. Let's use a table to get organized and to make sure we do everything that the question is asking of us. We found 8 or 9 paragraphs. Let's do a table with 4 columns and 10 rows. If you can do the same thing in the practice platform, get a table ready. Now, this is a standard approach when we're doing financial analysis or this type of a relevant costing question. We will use 4 columns. The first column can be our cost item. Second column can be our working. Third column can be our result. Fourth column, everybody, can be our discussion. Remember, they want us to explain why we have included or excluded the costs. And there were more marks available for the writing than the numbers. So follow this approach to ensure that you write enough. Okay. Now, let's populate the table with everything that we found. We found a sales visit. We found engineers. We found a technical advisor. This is the starting place, a template. Do not go into that question and just start freestyling from top to bottom. You will run out of time. Your answer will be a mess. Do it this way. Now we're going to cherry pick. We're going to go for the shortest paragraphs and get the easy marks first. So I'd like you to take a moment, pause the video, check out the paragraph on the sales visit. Tell me the relevant cost of the sales visit. Friends, hopefully you see that the sales visit happened in the past. Okay, that means it is a sunk cost. A cash flow in the past is not incremental. It is not relevant to our future decision. So the result is a 0. And let's do exactly what they asked for. Let's make a detailed note. Okay. This is a past cash flow, a sunk cost. It's not a future incremental cost, so I exclude. Notice my writing style. Simple, direct. I'm not trying to achieve a perfect academic style, and they will not judge you for your grammar or your spelling. Write in a simple method as I'm showing you. Now, let's look at the trainer, everyone. Pause the video, check out the trainer, and then when you have the relevant cost, come back and let's compare our work. So there are 2 components of cost in the trainer, his salary and his commission. And only the commission is a relevant cost. So let's put that into our costing. And let's make sure we tell the marketing team our thought process. Okay. The salary is a fixed cost, not incremental, so I exclude. The commission is a future cash flow linked to the contract, so I include it. Doing exactly what the question asks for, nothing more, nothing less. Detailed notes, why we include and exclude each item. Let's check out Site Inspector now. We are cherry picking the shortest paragraphs, and Site Inspector is our next stopping point. So pause the video, check out Site Inspector, come back and tell me the relevant cost. Okay, Site Inspector is 0, the relevant cost. Okay, here you have to read carefully for details. And the client pays this. Push pays for the Site Inspector. So it is not TECO's cash flow. Okay, so the client pays for this cost. It's not TECO's expense, so I exclude. Guys, let's check out the Tech Advisor paragraph now. Please pause the video, try Tech Advisor, and then start it back up, and let's compare our work. So, the Tech Advisor, we see the decision tree for labor. We do not have spare capacity. The next question we can ask, will they work overtime? The answer is yes. So the relevant cost will be $8 an hour multiplied by 40 hours multiplied by 1.5. And because we are in the word processor, you need to show your workings. If we were in the spreadsheet, the marketing team would look into the cell and look at your formula, but can't do that now. Okay, so the product of all of that is 480. And let's explain, give detailed notes. Okay, there is no spare capacity. There is no spare capacity, so the relevant cost is the hourly rate plus the overtime premium. Okay, friends, we are doing great here. We're going in the order of easy marks first. We have now done 4 easy things. Let's go to some medium level workings, and we can now come down and do the cable. So please check out cable. Pause the video and start it up when you're done and ready to compare. So for the cable, we will use the decision tree for direct materials. We ask the first question, are the materials in stock? If the answer to that is no, we have to purchase them at the current price. And if they are in stock, we have to ask the next question, are they in regular use? If the answer to that is yes, then the relevant cost is the current price, because we would replace what we take out of the storage room for this particular project. And we see they have 200 meters in stock, but it's in regular use, and we have to purchase 800. So both of those will be at $1.30, the current price. Let's show our workings. It's 200 plus 800 to get to the 1,000 meters multiplied by 1.3. Now, let's explain why we arrived at those costs. $200 meters are in stock and used regularly, so we replace this at current price. 800 meters need to be purchased, also at the current price. I exclude the historical cost. It's not a future cash flow. Again, simple English, and we come to 1300. Guys, try the handsets now. And this uses the same approach as cable. Pause the video, come back when you have finished handsets. Okay, handsets is the same story. We can ignore the historical cost, and we have how many in stock? We have 80, but they're in regular use. So if we use those in the project, we will have a new cash flow to replace those. So we will use the current price for the 80, and because they are used frequently, and the 40 we will need to purchase also at the current price. So that will be 80 plus 40 times 18.2. And that comes to 2184. Okay, this is similar to what I wrote below. Let's do exactly what they say. So I will write it up again. 40 we need to purchase at the current price. 80 we will take from stock. They are used regularly, so we will replace these at some point at current price. I exclude the historical cost, not a future cash flow. Guys, our answer is coming out great. Following the approach of easy marks first, we clear out the short paragraphs. And if we start to run out of time, we're almost at enough marks. Maybe we're even at enough marks now to get 50%. Okay, so if you had started at the beginning of this question and went down, you would have been stuck at that engineering paragraph. You wouldn't have gotten nearly as far as you've gotten now. Now, let's try the control system, and this breaks from relevant costing. This is more of a make or buy type of decision. So pause the video, check out the control system paragraph, and then come back and let's compare our work. Okay, so for the control system, we're trying to decide the least expensive option, and we can either buy a new one or we can modify the existing one. If we buy the new one, that's going to be a cost of 10,800. If we modify the current one, guys, that's going to cost 4,600 to modify. Plus, we have that opportunity cost of lost revenue. We don't get to sell it, so that will be 3,000, okay? And 4,600 plus 3,000 is equal to 7,600. We go with the lowest option, so we go with the 7,600. And let us write this up again quickly in simple plain English. This is a make or buy. This is a make or buy problem. Modify is the cheaper option, so I use this. I exclude the historical cost, but include the opportunity cost and the future cash flow of modification. Guys, we are almost done. Okay. Last thing to do is engineers. And you're probably going to run out of time. In the real exam, right, you'd be out of time by now. But it's not a problem. If you follow easy marks first, just walk away from it now. Go get easier marks in other places in the exam. But we're here. We're practicing together. Let's do the engineer paragraph. So pause the video, try engineers, and then come back. So there's a lot to unpack in the engineer paragraph. First thing we see is that they get a salary. Salaries are usually fixed costs, and we exclude those. Then we learn that they're going to lose the generation of contribution if they divert those workers, those engineers, off their current project. So now I'm starting to think that we have some lost contribution that's going to be relevant. Then I discover that we will pay a penalty if we take the push job because we will finish this current job late. So that penalty is a relevant cost. It's a future incremental cash flow. But then in the last sentence, we learn that the engineers have time next week to finish the job. So it's not really lost contribution. It's just delayed a week or two. So let's not include that. We don't really lose the contribution. That's my thought process. So let's write all of that up. And the only relevant cost then that I see is the $500 penalty. Okay, the salary is fixed, so I exclude. The lost contribution is not really lost, it's just delayed a little bit, so I exclude that. The only future incremental cash flow is the penalty, so I include that. Guys, I think there were 3 marks for this, and I got the 3 marks. And look at my fabulous exam technique, okay? Showing my workings, using a table to stay organized, using plain, simple English, showing a detailed discussion explaining why I include and exclude certain items, okay? That's what your answer should look like. Now at the end, we can tie it together by adding up those costs, and it comes to 12,189, but you really shouldn't worry about that because it's highly unlikely in the exam to have it perfect. The marks are awarded piece by piece. So remember, it's a collection of small math puzzles, not one big challenge that you need to get perfect. Guys, there you go. Relevant costing in the CBE word processor. I hope you found the video helpful. If you did, please throw down a like, and you can subscribe so you get notifications when I come out with more videos. Guys, good luck on your upcoming PM exam. This is Steve signing out. Bye for now.